Vegan adventurers, welcome to another adventure from Andalusia, Spain. Today we're gonna do a hiking loop to Cerro San Sebastian with lots of almond trees on the way. We're starting from the village Totalan and the hike should take around 5 hours, and we are following again the Wikiloc application. So let's get going. First we're descending with this steep curvy paved road, and once we get down in the valley we'll probably go up with that other road over there. In just a few minutes we descended down to the river and we got this hiking sign saying Modlinejo, which is another village, 7.6 kilometers. According to Wikiloc we are crossing the river and following this road over here. Okay, so just follow the road and here we turn around. Over here you can see a clear example of deforestation for animal grazing, which is the #1 cause of deforestation. So that's the road we came down from. So maybe we descended like 100 meters down and now we have maybe 200 meters up, and then it's gonna go down again and then up again, probably to this hill. And only to go to that one over there. I don't think it goes like that. Over here you can see first almond trees, but many almonds are already rotten inside, but you can still find some good ones there as well. Sometimes when you follow routes on Wikiloc you have to be careful, like in this case these guys went down there but there was a gate so they had to return back here. So as you can see, this hike doesn't really have a hiking path. We're just making our way through these grasses and rocky fields. So this beginning was definitely not the best, and I would definitely avoid it in the summer. There could be lots of snakes here. In the distance you can see the Totalan village where we parked the car. Alright, here we finally connected to some better road, which would go more straight to the ridge over there and then around to the left. So till now we're not very impressed with this hike. It seems like it would be much better to go to that hill over there and make a loop around somewhere over here. Alright, here we finally got up to this ridgeline and we got a nice view of the Costa del Sol coastline with the city of Malaga in the distance. And down here you can see the main highway, Autovia del Mediterraneo, and we went with that road underneath the highway all the way up here. Right after following the road on the ridgeline for about 15 minutes, we got to the top of Cerro San Sebastian with this amazing view around. Over here you can see the peak La Maroma, 2069 meters that we saw on the hikes earlier, which is the highest peak of Sierra Tejeda mountain range. The last hike to Cerro del Cielo peak was in those mountains, so check it out. I'll enjoy the view from Cerro San Sebastian peak. Looking at the GPS, it seems like we're going to that village over there, crossing on the ridgeline over those mountains. So now when we got a better view of other hills, I see that I was wrong. We're just gonna ascend to the hill in front of us over here and then follow the ridgeline until the village down here. And before I thought we're gonna follow the ridgeline behind there. Alright, from here it seems like it's gonna start descending, so we're just gonna have lunch here. It's a bit after 3 o'clock and we're having some mashed potatoes with beans and also a vegan burger. Again, always cook and pack your food. Alright, so this was the highest point we're gonna reach today, and from here it's gonna be mostly downhill, a little bit uphill also, and it's gonna be around 6 kilometers to get back to the village where we started. And over here in the distance we can see a little bit of the snowy peak of Sierra Nevada mountains where we were hiking about 2 weeks ago, so check out those videos as well. Over here you can again see the Cerro Sebastian peak where we just had lunch, and here you can see the Totalan village where we have to get back around. So from here it seems like it's just 2 kilometers straight back to the village, but we're gonna go around another 6 kilometers. And here we got to a crossroads. If you go with this path on the right, you would get to the village Moclinejo, but we're gonna keep going with this path up here. As you can see, we are following this ridgeline up and down through these little hills. There are not many trees around, it seems really dry here, but at least we're getting nice views. Looking at the map, it seems like the path goes through this hill in front of us. I thought this is the last hill we're gonna ascend today, but looking at the map I see that I was wrong. It's just descend to the saddle and then goes up to that hill over there, and only from there the path starts descending around back to the village. And together we still have over 200 meters of elevation. So after the hard hike to Cerro, I thought this would be an easy hike, but it's turning out to be quite a moderate difficulty. Just a few minutes we ascended to this peak that I don't know the name of, and we got a view of Totalan village and the Costa del Sol. When descending from the peak, we noticed there was a path on the left, maybe making a shortcut back to the valley and Totalan village, but we still have a time to make the bigger loop according to the Wikilog app. And here we are making the last ascent to this peak in front of us, and looking back we can see the Cerro San Sebastian and the other peak we ascended. This last ascent was the hardest. There are these spiky bushes on the side scratching me all the time. And here in the distance we can see the solar panel farm on the side of the hill, so it's great that Spain is using the power of the sun that they're getting plenty of. We definitely want to see more of this renewable energy. Alright, and here we finally ascended this last peak and we got another amazing view of Costa del Sol. Our accommodation is actually in the town by the coast called Rincon de la Victoria. We still have around 4 kilometers back to Totalan village with around 400 meters of descent, so hopefully we can make it before the sunset in 1 hour. Looking at the map, it seems like the path goes down here around the peak back to the valley. Looking at these hills on the other side, it seems like a better loop would be to go through that peak over there. I haven't seen any paths on Wikilog app or on maps.me through there. After a few minutes of descent we got to this crossroad. One road keeps going straight to more hills, but we're gonna go with this one on the left. As you can see, I'm trying to take my shirt off and absorb as much sunshine as possible, because in a few days we're coming back to Slovakia and Serbia, where there is a darkness at 4 p.m. and the sunshine is really weak, so you're not getting any vitamin D from it, and we're not supplementing with it either, so we're trying to get into warmer climate like Spain or tropics in the winter time. So over here is the view of the last hill we're descending from, and we're descending pretty fast. It took us only about 15 minutes still here. So with this pace we'll definitely make it before the darkness. So we're almost done at the valley, connecting to this bigger road that should take us back to Totalan, and is also probably the last time we see the sun today. After crossing the river, we found ourselves back into civilization with the cars, houses and dogs. So we just see a persimmon tree over there. And we're just thinking if instead of all these almond trees, there would be persimmon trees. It would take us so much more time, because I would just eat them all the time. And over here you can see all the 3 peaks that we ascended today. Alright, we are almost back in Totan village, and here we can see nicely a view of today's hike. So we descended down in the valley, went with the road zigzagging up and then through the fields, connected up there to the ridge with a nice view, and then we followed the ridge up to the peak of Cerro San Sebastian, and then from there we descended down and up to the second peak, and then again down to the saddle and up to the last peak, and then from there around back here. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this adventurous loop with almond trees. We have only one more hike coming up before going back to Slovakia. It is one of the most famous hikes in Spain, called Camino del Rey Canyon, so make sure you stay tuned for that video. And as always, stay healthy and stay adventurous.